Hello, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the next video. This video is going to be specifically looking at the fundamentals of spacing from the perspective of the lower ranged ADC. This first example, we're going to be looking at Kai'Sa versus Ashe. Both supports are going to be melee in this case. Now, here, Kai'Sa has an auto attack range of 525 in comparison to Ashe, who has an auto attack range of 600. Now, there is a 75 unit difference in auto attack range. This range will be spaced upon on the advantage of Ashe. Now, we're going to talk about two specific things going into this VOD. The first thing we're going to talk about is baiting out spells in order to gain leverage and space against a lane opponent. The second thing we're going to be talking about is using a specific pocket that is exactly diagonal or opposite to the range that has, to the ADC that has higher range. Let's get into it. So, looking at the VOD, we approach the lane as Kai'Sa from the north side of the lane. Now, you could, of course, approach the lane from here, but then you risk getting hit from the support here. Likewise, you could also approach the lane through the middle, and this will essentially allow you to evade any volley, level 1. However, if you approach the lane in this way, you're going ahead and attempting to bait out Ashe's volley. Now, baiting out a W on Ashe is very difficult to do because it's really hard to gauge the exact range of W sometimes because it can be really long. But realistically, when Ashe stands in area A, her volley can reach all the way up to around area B, which means that she has all of this range to utilize her volley, which means that you want to be standing on the edge of her maximum range in order to get her to use it. Once Ashe uses her volley, the only thing that you now have to worry about is the extra 75 range advantage that Ashe has. And therefore, then you just space that. So now notice what the ADC does here, the Ashe in this case, or the Kai'Sa in this case. Unfortunately, he actually gets tagged by the W here, but that's okay because the idea again was to step up to try to get her to use it. Now, you could take a much more safer approach, as I said, and approach the lane from the middle. And if you're going to approach the lane from the north side, then you have to be willing to bait out the first spell before you touch the wave. So again, notice now the second concept we're going to talk about, and this is going to be playing against the enemy ADC from the perspective of the opposite pocket. So notice where Ashe is standing and notice where Kai'Sa is standing. Now, because Ashe, as we discussed in the previous VOD when it comes to spacing, we are spacing in relation to the minion transaction in the middle of the lane. So if we identify this as transaction X and we identify Ashe's positioning as Y, then we want to stand in a location where Ashe can't attack us, which we can identify our position as Z, in a way where we take damage. And so you want to get X without Y attacking Z. And so when Ashe is positioned, let's call this position A, then you can take a position either B, C, or D. Now, two of these positions are not the best. B is not good because Ashe can immediately walk up and use her 75 ranged advantage to auto attack you. Again, you want to get these minions. You need to get a push lead in the lane. You want to gain control of the first wave. Therefore, B is not the play. Standing in B forces you to take damage that you otherwise wouldn't want to. Standing in C is relatively okay. You can do this if you want to bait out a volley. So if Ashe positions herself in A and you stand somewhere around C, you can get her to volley you. However, you might have a harder time accessing the wave if the wave pulls up. Therefore, by positioning yourself in D, you have the easiest access to the wave, while simultaneously you are avoiding Ashe's pocket, and therefore you are taking the furthest pocket away, the diagonal pocket in this case. So as you can see, Kai'Sa does exactly that. She takes the minions. She wants to get the push lead. Trade ends up happening. He gets the auto off. He aggroes the frontline back casters, doesn't continue the trade because he doesn't want to take damage from the casters and also Ashe's auto attacks because she has the range advantage. Takes this minion, pulls it down to the brush, and then continues to work on the backline casters. Misses the minion, unfortunately not a problem. And as you can see, all he's doing is he's positioning in a way where he's away from the Ashe. And so if Ashe moves up to attack the Kai'Sa, Kai'Sa can move down to the south side brush to evade any auto attacks. Kai'Sa can also position herself in this area all the way back here. So we can call this area A, we can call this area B. And both of these areas essentially allow us to evade Ashe advancing into us because, again, she has the 75 range. B is the best because B allows us to still get auto attacks on this minion while simultaneously dodging anything that Ashe might attempt to do to us. Walks up, gets the minion low. Working on the front line, attempting to get level 2 as fast as possible. Ashe uses her W, she's on cooldown. Notice something that Alistar does, actually walks up, and when Alistar walks up, he's actually denying Kai'Sa from getting a click onto the minion, denying level 2, unfortunately, but it seems that the ADC on the end of Kai'Sa is able to get the minion off, able to get level 2. Nautilus, notice also what he's doing. Nautilus is positioning himself to the south side. This pretty much allows him to evade the Ashe's auto attacks while simultaneously using the brush to attack the frontline minions, which again is the priority because the goal in this lane again is to start pushing and getting a push lead and start moving forward. Level 2 comes out for both ends. Alistar knocks away the Kai'Sa, whereas Nautilus is able to get the Q, W comes off, Alistar is forced out of the lane, and now again she's backing off. And now notice what she's doing. Again, we're going to go back to the concept of baiting out spells. Notice what's happening. Ashe is in area A. Now, when Ashe is in area A, she has authority and threat range all the way in this region. Now, if we stand in this location, essentially what it's allowing us to do is it's using this minion as a protection tool. But simultaneously, we're standing away from the minion to get Ashe to hit us with volley. And the second the animation of the W comes out, we're going to move down. And so what you're going to notice is we can space between this area and this area, up and down, getting her to use a spell. This again comes down to the concept of baiting out a spell in order to gain leverage. Once leverage is gained and Ashe releases the W, and the lower ranked you are, the more non-disciplined a lot of the ADCs will be in their spell usage, then what's going to happen is two things. One, you attack the Ashe's mana pool, and two, Ashe's range of W, because now you can press up. And then all you have to again worry about is the extra 75 ranged advantage because of the matchup. As you can see, level 2 comes out. Now they're just getting push lead. They have control of the third wave. And because they're winning trades, what they can do now is they can stack the wave. They're allowed to go for bases. They're allowed to go for moves. And they can get first move in the river. And it seems like the enemy support is also based. They're looking to crush. And then they look to try to deny the wave for the Ashe. And this is because if they don't, they'll get dove. Now they're just pushing up. And again, the purpose of this is to make sure that they're denying XP. Ashe able to get the cannon. Next wave ends up arriving and they end up retreating. So just to summarize everything, the two concepts we've talked about, the first one being be able to bait out certain spells in order to leverage space against the lane opponent. And the second one being stand directly opposite in a pocket in relation to the ADC that has the highest range as the lower ranged ADC. That is it for this video. Good luck. I will see you guys for the next one.